We okay there, Director? Sorry. Okay. I'm going to call this second meeting of this fiscal year to order. This is the Village Board of Trustees, Village of Depew, April 11, 2022 meeting, starting at a couple minutes after 7:02, and a pledge by Trustee Savage.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll remain standing for a second, and I'll handle the invocation tonight. God of justice and mercy, thank you for the gift of life and the opportunity to serve the people of our village. Help us to act with character and conviction. Help us to listen with understanding and goodwill. Help us to speak with charity and restraint. Give us a spirit of service. Remind us that we are stewards of your authority. Guide us to be the leaders your people need. Help us see the humanity and dignity of those who disagree with us, and to treat all persons, no matter how weak or poor, with the reverence your creation deserves. And finally, Father, renew us with the strength of your presence and the joy of helping to build a community worthy of human person. We ask this as your sons and daughters, confident in your goodness and love. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Deputy Mayor Hammernick with the notification of fire exits.
The emergency exit is located to my left and to the rear of the room. In the event of an alarm or emergency, please move in an orderly fashion to the exit and evacuate the building.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Ada.
Here.
Trustee Ziemba.
Here.
Trustee Kasevich.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Hammernick.
Here.
Mayor Peterson.
Here. Approve Village Board meeting minutes, March 28th, 2022.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make a motion to approve the Village Board meeting minutes from March 28th, 2022.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next up is approve the Village Board reorganization meeting minutes from April 4th, 2022.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption. To approve the Village Board reorganization minutes from April 4th, 2022.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. So the public will be able, on our YouTube channel, as well as those in present, comment on any of these following agenda items. And if it has anything to do with the tentative budget public hearing or the Dawson Field Farmers Market public hearing, hold those until we get to that section. So after those two things today is the modifying the 2021-2022 budget. It was with the purchase of a new fire chief vehicle that had been in the process of 2 years making. Saw one, so we grabbed it and came out of fund balance at $62,380. Typically, we get 10 to 12 years out of the trucks. Next up, permission to sign an agreement for services and indemnification. This is actually something that is passed. We did a online approval of vote so that the auction from Acadia Site Contracting on Transit Road in the viaducts could proceed as scheduled this past weekend, using the services of our police force that they compensated for their time while they were out there helping to direct traffic. So it's a formality tonight. Next up is approve some fire training, where Engine 6 is to perform car fire training with Millgrove Fire Company at Millgrove Station in Alden on May 2nd. Next up is permission from the fire department to grant Cayuga Hose Company use of Southside Fire Station on Saturday, April 23rd, from 5 p.m. to midnight for their installation there. Tonight, after the Claims and accounts, well, actually, after public comments and claims and accounts, the board will be going into executive session. We try and get as much done beforehand so that we don't take this early on and then you're sitting here waiting for us to come back. So there is a personnel type issue that we need to talk about. And we'll be doing that later on tonight. So I would open it up if anybody has any public comment or question on items 3 through 6. That's the modify the budget, the agreement for the Acadia auction, and the 2 fire training and the dinner. Not a lot of interesting things to talk about, huh, Paul? Okay. All right. So with that, let's start right off with the first public hearing tonight.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion, move for its adoption to open up a public hearing on the tentative budget. Time open 7:09.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Public hearing will be held on Monday, April 11th, 2022 at 7 p.m. in Depew Village Hall Council Chambers regarding the 2022-2023 tentative budget. The meeting room is wheelchair accessible.
Okay, so the tentative budget that was put together by our administrator and released to the public on March the 20th. There were a couple of copies out at the front there if you needed one. Came in at 12.2% tax increase. Obviously, I think any of us up here, if you think we're going to try and pass a 12.2% tax hike onto the public, is that's just not going to happen. So I know we've all looked at the budget over the last couple of weeks. There are a number of areas in which numbers can be adjusted. We will be having a open to the public for, observation purposes. There's no back and forth communication, but it'll be a work session with the entire board on Thursday this week at 5:30 in the conference room at the end of the hall, and that will be open. But if anybody has any comments or questions on what you might have in the budget, just please step to the podium, state your name and address, and we'll see if we can't help you with that. Okay. Just for a couple of tidbits, perhaps. Looking back on the year prior to this, the first year of COVID, if you remember March 2020, all of a sudden everything got shut down. We were told to send 50% of the staff home. Our DPW did most of that 50%. They were still on call, but they were at home, and they were getting paid. There was no problem with that. It was a great early March. There was really no snow. It was pretty nice weather. But we also made a decision, as an example, that year where the 3 pools between here, Lancaster, and Cheektowaga, we all decided not to open. So there was a huge savings as far as the pool goes. Pool is basically a money loser for the village. It's a benefit for those who were there. We didn't hire any lifeguards or ticket takers, or we didn't have any summer staff like we typically do. Numbers for tax revenues didn't come in quite as disastrous as they thought. And as an example, though, the year ending May 31st, 2021, there was a $1.4 billion surplus. So that goes into our fund balance, and we are doing well with the fund balance, so we're going to wind up putting some of that money back to the village in this budget. This year is another example too, even though it's still, we have got about 6 weeks yet in the fiscal year. Numbers are looking good as again, not quite as robust because we did have the pool open last year, and we did hire help throughout the summer and paid a little bit higher rates for our lifeguards. But so the number is projecting to be another decent number in surplus, so that will go into our fund balance as well.
As long as nothing pretty disastrous.
Disastrous happens, yes,
Correct.
yes. Now you sound like my wife.
I know.
Don't-
Sorry.
6 weeks.
But, you know, in all fairness, I think a lot of the municipalities see the same thing, that when, I mean, it was talked about, could be upwards of 80% reduction in tax revenues. But on top of that, if you recall, any internet sales that have happened since the pandemic, those were all put into tax revenues. So our tax revenue number has been almost 19% ahead of last year. So we were rather conservative when we did the budget last year, so that number's a little bit higher. And again, there's some other areas there where we can make some adjustments. So I think we're going to come in with a number that'll be rather palatable. Any of the trustees want to add anything, what you might be seeing? Of course, we have contracts, too, that we're dealing with. We only did contract negotiations 2 years ago at the beginning of the pandemic. They went from looking at a 4-year deal to only a 2-year deal because of the unknowns. And each of the unions basically accepted about a 1% pay hike for each of those 2 years. So we're going to need to probably compensate them for that. Numbers in the budget too is monies in order to compensate for the negotiations. And I believe we're looking at 4-year contract this time. So, I'm sorry. Anything? Anybody? Andrew?
Not at this time.
Audrey?
I
Dan?
don't have anything at this time.
Okay. If that didn't spur any other questions? No? Anything online? Okay. All right. Motion to close the public hearing.
I would like to make a motion to close the public hearing at 7:16 PM.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right. Our next public hearing is for a new event that is looked to happen here in the village at historic Dawson Field, which is the baseball diamond that's been beautifully refurbished, I guess. Certainly put back and playing ball this past year. And they're looking to do an event this summer over 7 Saturdays, I believe, something like that. Okay. And in the space between the outfield fences and the West Dawson Playground Park that the village operates. And tonight, we have Bruce Stutz and Paul Giordano, both from the Lancaster Baseball Boosters, and we wanted to invite you up to the podium. Just state your names and addresses, and you could give our viewing audience and those that are here a little bit about the farmers market that you want to have.
Sure. Appreciate it, Mayor Peterson.
Yep.
When old school, got a handout here. I have 9 copies for 9 up here. Apologize for the sides.
Thank you.
Didn't see them on the camera.
Thank you.
And I can, for anyone that doesn't have it or would like a copy, I can email it to you.
Thank you.
So not a problem.
Thanks. Good to see you, man.
So we appreciate the opportunity. My name is Bruce Stutz. I'm the chairman of the Lancaster Baseball Booster Club. We are rehabbing West Dawson, historic Dawson Field. We took over the field in August of 2018, or 2019. So we've had 2 seasons of baseball. Last year, first year was kind of easing into it. Last year was a successful year for sure. I live in Lancaster, 1 Jonquil Court, Lancaster.
My name is Paul Giordano. I'm the co-chairman, and I live at 24 Pine Tree Drive in Lancaster. So If anybody has driven by Dawson Field in the last year and a half, you'll see a tremendous improvement to that piece of property on east and west. And so this market, we feel, is a big boost to the neighborhood. It's a farmer's market. It'll be every other Saturday. Hours are from, I think it's 8 to 2. And we expect to have about 20 vendors.
Is it food? Are you selling food? Like-
We're targeting locally grown harvest fruits and vegetables. For sure, it could expand to flowers and baked goods.
Is there anything that needs any kind of inspection by code enforcement? I'll say if it's a fried food or a popcorn stand or things that normally come to, let's say, the summer concert series at Veterans.
Yeah. We've spoken to the code enforcement officers, and if someone is using a grill and stuff like that, they're to have a fire extinguisher. And so everything has gone through the code enforcement officers, and they've pretty much have approved everything at this
Okay,
point.
so is that with, when our previous code enforcement officer was here?
No, the
or-
new-
Was
Craig?
with Rick and with
Oh, perfect,
Yeah.
Don. Rick
That
Don.
was just, I don't know, maybe a month ago?
perfect.
Yeah, we had a meeting, and then
Yeah.
so yeah, you see a lot of online, a lot of talk about the markets. We hear a lot about the Alden Market, the Clarence Market, and kind of our brainstorm was why not do it in Depew? Why not do it in Lancaster? Because there's Sam's Club and there's Walmarts and there's Wegmans and Tops everywhere, but not really a true farmer's market, and especially not something we haven't seen much on grass in a park setting. So that's kind of the concept where we saw that property. We've met with Superintendent Raby, who is still the owner of the property, the Depew School District. And he had said that that property hasn't been used in 20 years that he knows of. He can't remember anything that's been there, done anything. We have some golf balls there, so we know kids, someone's hitting golf balls there. I'm sure the dogs are there. But we're thinking also with the new West Austin ADA playground, it's going to be a nice tie-in right to get people at that property. So when they come to that property, they're going to see some of our long-term vision. Our long-term is to make that an all-inclusive property, where we have some of our top athletes on one end, and we have everybody. We have everybody included. We'd love to have, down the road, the farmer's market could spur like, hey, let's put a baseball field there, a 60, 70 convertible field. Let's put turf. Let's make it accessible for everybody. So that's kind of the long-term vision. We need about another couple $1 million for that part.
Yeah.
But with the farmer's market, it gets people at the property. They see it. Hey, what's going on over there? Baseball. What's going on over here? Oh, we got this new playground. We're going to, best of my knowledge, I hear we're going to have new sidewalks along that property as well. So it's an exciting time, and we think the market, with everything that's trending for healthier foods, locally sourced produce, fresh, it's not, the quicker you can shrink that time from harvesting to market, it's going to be healthier. So that's one of our keys. And also for our organization, it will help generate revenue.
Helps you, right?
Right.
For sure, helps generate revenue. We're not going to let that hurt out. We need revenue streams to make that project successful. So an additional revenue stream, get people on the property and providing the service for our community.
And we've canvassed the neighborhood, most of the neighbors that live around the field and everything. We talked to them about this before we brought it forward, and they were all on board with it. They all thought it was a great idea.
Have you addressed parking with code?
Yes, we were asked to secure some more off-street parking, and we have through the two businesses that are directly across the
Oh,
street
perfect,
from
yeah.
them, that they will allow us to use their parking lots on those days. So,
Yeah, all orthodox and JOH food brokers have allowed, big baseball fans, as it turns out, they're going to allow us to use their parking lot on Saturdays, Sundays.
Excellent.
I think it's wonderful.
Me too.
Questions from the board? Anybody?
No.
I just think it's wonderful. You're bringing people into the village. They're going to hear the town Depew, village of Depew, and I just think it's great.
thank you.
I know you said you have 20 vendors lined up?
That's what we're looking to get, 20.
Okay.
We don't have
Stretch goal,
anybody
stretch goal.
lined up right now because we had to wait, see if it was gonna go through this process before we, but that's what we would like. We would like to start with 20, and if it's successful this year, then next year maybe we'll add more.
Yeah, I was just curious if you had people lined up, because like I go to Tonawanda one, and it is phenomenal. So it's like if you can even get some of those people to come over.
The one in
there-
North Tonawanda?
Yes, it is phenomenal. So
Yeah.
it's like if we can get some of those people, maybe
Yeah.
that would be helpful.
Where is it, on the street or something?
No, they have it, and it's humongous. There's like a parking lot, I would
Yeah,
say.
it's like behind a church parking lot.
Yeah, I get my flowers there every year.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's great.
Yeah. I mean, we
So-
do have some interest from those people.
Yeah.
And they're just waiting, basically, for the go.
It's a sign of the times. This is what's happening. So we have to go with it.
We have some in Alden, the Alden Farmers Market. We have some different vendors from around here that come out to that too. They're very, very nice. The one on grass that's interesting.
Yeah.
I look forward to that.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a very nice
it
piece.
is.
That piece of property it's gonna be something special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be 5-8 years
Instead
from
of
now,
it
but
just-
it's gonna be a nice piece of property. As nice as the work we put into our field to get it to where it's at. You know, we're not there yet where we want to be, but we're gonna start shifting a little bit more of those resources to that property, make sure it is similar to the field. So.
Can you have a contact with a Hanzillion sausage? I can help you with that.
We'll take you up on that.
Because they do the Alden one.
Yeah.
I know.
They're all over. They do the East Aurora one. They
Yeah.
do most.
I got an in for you on that one.
All right. So there's one.
All right. Any questions from our captive audience? Anybody online? All right. What do you think? Good? Everybody? Thank you.
Really.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep. We'll get
Thank
to
you.
We'll get to you rather quickly so you can move on.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
You have to close it. Oh, you know what?
Yeah, we
I
never
didn't read it.
opened
No,
Yeah,
we didn't open it
read
yet. We never opened up the public hearing. I said that.
Did I do that? I might have screwed it up.
I was ready for it. What, do you want me to close it?
Yeah, well,
She didn't read her, she has to read her statement.
you gotta read it, right?
Yeah, she's
So I'm
going to
gonna
read
open
her
it
public
first?
notice.
A public hearing will be held on Monday, April 11th, 2022 at 7 p.m. in the Depew Village Hall Council Chambers regarding the 2022-2023, oh, that's not the right one. Okay. A public hearing will be held on Monday, April 11th, 2022 at 7 p.m. in the Depew Village Hall Council Chambers. The purpose of the hearing is to discuss a proposed market at Dawson Field every other Saturday this summer from June to September. The meeting room is wheelchair accessible.
All right. Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make a motion to close the public hearing at 7:26 p.m.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I'm pretty sure it was my fault, so I apologize. I was very excited with Paul and Bruce out there, so,
I was actually excited because I was looking at this.
Yeah.
So I didn't, that's my fault too.
yeah, so, I know they've been every step of the way in their project over there and been in tune with the village, and, so, they're great people. All right. Next item up is modify the 2021-2022 budget.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption. Be it resolved, the Administrator is hereby authorized to modify the 2021-2022 budget in the following manner. Revenues, fund balance, $62,380. Expenditures, $10.5.3410.210. Fire Department vehicle, $62,380.
I second the motion.
Need a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Adol?
Yes.
Trustee Ziemba?
Yes.
Trustee Savage?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Heimernet?
Yes.
Mayor Peterson?
Yes.
That's carried.
Authorize the mayor to sign agreement for services and indemnification.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following resolution and move for its adoption. Be it resolved that Mayor Kevin Peterson has permission to retroactively sign the services and indemnification agreement with Acadia Site Contracting.
I second the motion.
Need a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Adol?
Yes.
Trustee Ziemba?
Yes.
Trustee Savage?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Heimernet?
Yes.
Mayor Peterson?
Yes.
That's carried.
Permission to approve some training for the Depew Fire Department.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption. Whereas permission is hereby granted to Engine 6 to perform car fire training with Millgrove Fire Company at Millgrove Station, 11621 Genesee Street, Alden, New York, 14004, on Monday, May 2nd, from 6 p.m. till 10 p.m.
I'll second that motion.
Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Adol?
Yes.
Trustee Zamba?
Yes.
Trustee Gisavich?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Hammernick?
Yes.
Mayor Peterson?
Yes.
That's carried.
Permission to approve for the Depew Fire Department the use of Southside Fire Station.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion and move for its adoption. Permission is hereby granted to Cayuga Hose Company Number 3 to use of the Southside Fire Station on Saturday, April 23rd, 2022, from 5 p.m. till midnight for their installation dinner.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Item number seven, Department Head Reports, Police for the month of March.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make a motion to approve the department head reports, Police, March 2022, as presented.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that's carried. In the last 2 weeks here, we've received the following employment applications for our rec department: Michael Steffens, Janica Rosa, Muti Giannani, Timothy Steffen, Bianca Kortowitz, Dana Woods, Teresa Kaus, and Brianna Paul. There's no unfinished or other business. And before we get to public comments, we'll go around so our department heads and our guests can get us up to speed on some things. So welcome back, you two. Took a week off, which is well deserved. We're going to start with Bob Brandon from Senator Tim Kennedy's office.
Good evening.
Good evening. Hi, Bob.
Okay, I want to touch upon the state budget that was just passed. It's been, 5 weeks, 5 days, 6 days late, or a week late. And as you know, legislation can also be passed through the budget. Most of the time, the legislation goes to the Assembly and the Senate, and they get together. But the budget is another vehicle for passing legislation. And this budget was no different from any in the past. And I think it was these legislative items that sort of held the budget up for the last week. So let me just briefly say some of the things, I mentioned some of the things that were put in the budget now in terms of legislation. Bail reform, that was always a big deal. And there was a lot of grumbling from the police departments and the DA's office about bail reform, people not being released without bail. So some changes were made a while back, and there's still more changes that wanted to be done. So they made more offenses as part of the bail process. So they added offenses that you could be held for bail. And also gave the judges more discretion on holding people for bail. If they deemed them dangerous or repeat offenders, they could set bail for them. That was a really big stumbling block, and it did get through. The one we all like is the Buffalo Bills Stadium, $600 million that the state will be contributing toward the purchase, toward the building, about $1.4 billion. So I like that. Alcohol to go. During the pandemic, there was a emergency, and the governor says that because the restaurants were suffering from the attendance, that if people bought food to carry out, they could also have liquor to go also. And that was very, very big for the restaurants. It made a lot of money on it. And it's a big money maker for it, so they wanted it to continue. So the budget did allow that to happen, so that will happen again. Also, there'll be 3 casinos that are going to go downstate, probably in the New York City area. Gas tax relief, I think June 1st, tax will be rescinded like 16 cents a gallon. Going to help somewhat. It's not perfect, but it's 16 cents a gallon less. Now, the last thing I want to mention is child care funding. It's a huge deal. A lot of people can't go back to work. They don't have affordable child care. So they put in $5 billion for 3 years for child care. It's going to be income-based. It's not for everybody, but it's fairly liberal, 200% of poverty level. So those are the big items in the budget. It did pass, and we got it for another year. The other thing I want to talk about is foreclosures. You talked about foreclosures in your pre-board meeting. It's going to be a big thing right now. During the pandemic, there was a moratorium on foreclosures. The banks are not able to foreclose because people were not able to work and they couldn't pay the mortgages. Well, that moratorium has ended right now. So we're expecting a lot of foreclosures coming up. I'm on the zombie task force, the Erie County Zombie Task Force, and Mickey Kearns, who was the chairman of that board, had a press conference about 2 weeks ago. And during the conference, he stated that he wanted to let people know that this is going to be a huge problem. There were 2,900 letters sent out to homeowners in Erie County who are at least 90 days behind on their mortgages. It's almost 3,000 people. This is throughout the Erie County. Every zip code was included in that. What surprised me was the highest number of letters sent was zip code 14225. That's where I live. I'm really surprised. So the most letters went to 14225, 14043 was like in the middle of the pack, 14227 was in the middle of the pack also. So it's going to be a huge problem coming up. I'm also on a subcommittee of the Zombie Task Force. It's called Stay in Your Home. Our goal of that subcommittee is to let people know that if you get a foreclosure notice, you do not have to leave your house. Because if you do leave your house, it becomes a zombie house many times. It becomes in disarray, disrepair, needs maintenance, and it becomes an eyesore. So we have a campaign to let people know that there's free services available to help you. You may be able to work out your mortgage, or you may get relief of some sort, but there are a lot of free services available. So your Stay in Your Home campaign, we had public service announcements telling people that there are free services available. We had drive-throughs where we had people gather and get together. We had people from Belmont there. We had tax attorneys there, and they were able to give people help. And we also have a brochure that we put out. So we want to get the message out that if you're got a foreclosure letter, do not leave your home. Foreclosures can take up to 2 years. So we want you to stay in your home. Last thing I want to talk about is another board I'm on, the Cheektowaga Symphony Board. The symphony has not played for 2 years because of the pandemic. So we're going to have a concert on April 24th. April 24th at 3 o'clock at the Villa Maria College. And it's free to all. It's a great band. It's like a 74-piece band. They're all volunteers, and they're just a great group, and they really put on a terrific concert. So April 24th, 3 o'clock, which is a Sunday, at Villa Maria College. Okay? Thank you.
Perfect. From Assembly Member Monica Wallace's office, Elizabeth Brinkworth.
Good evening, Mayor and Board of Trustees. Thank you so much for having me on. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Elizabeth Brinkworth, and I'm Chief of Staff to Assemblymember Monica Wallace. So thank you so much, as always, for allowing me a few moments of your time and the public's time to give a brief overview of what's going on in my member's office. So it's been a busy week, as I'm sure everyone knows. The budget finally passed on Saturday morning, so that was very exciting. So since then, her staff has been diligent in looking at what's been done in terms of the budget and how it affects the district. I know my boss broke some good news to you. Assemblymember Wallace was originally advocating for quite a bit of money to help out with Fireman's Park, and the state granted us some of that money, so she was able to get $120,000 back to the district specifically for the village of Depew. So we look forward into working with you and figuring how that money's going to come, and we'll keep you posted as to, how that's going to be doled out and when. As a result of this year's budget, Assemblymember Wallace was also very diligent in working on a local municipal Retree New York plan, and we're excited to announce that she was able to get $200,000 in a line item for the state of New York. This is specifically for properties that are owned by municipalities that had trees that were affected by a invasive species, so like the ash borer and all that. And I know that's been a huge issue in the village of Depew, as well as Cheektowaga, Lancaster, so we're excited to get that reported. We're waiting to see how the grant process is going to be doled out. I would assume it'd be DEC, so our legislative director has been working on the budget and reading more into it, and we're hoping to have better contact with DOB, which is Division of Budget. So we're very excited on that. I know Bob had touched on this, but this was an issue I was researching for some time, is childcare. $7 billion for childcare over 4 years. This will expand eligibility from the 200% federal poverty level, to 300% poverty level, which comes to $83,250 for a family of 4. So that's very exciting. We're also going to look at increasing the market rate to the 80th percentile, which will help our little small mom and pop child care centers stay open longer, because there were some concerns about the direction things were going. There's also going to be quite a bit of money going towards child care workers, because they were one of the workforces that was severely underfunded due to COVID. So there's money being doled out. I think it's close to $500,000. I'll have to double check my numbers. So that's very exciting to get them above minimum wage. So we're very excited about that. In terms of local infrastructure needs, I know the roads, as soon as the plows are hopefully done with the snow and that, there are some potholes that are left behind. So there is a $32.8 billion 5-year DOT capital campaign plan. Additionally, the state budget allocated $6.1 billion in funding over 5 years for capital aid to localities, programs such as Bridge New York, Extreme Winter Recovery, and other infrastructure programs. So very excited about that. So as always, if anyone needs assistance on the state level, we will do our best to do whatever we can as an office to assist constituents.
So there was some talk as to what the numbers would be when I met with Senator Gallivan with CHIPS money. Is that, they said it would be at or above what we got last year. Do you know that to be a fact or not?
I will double check. So CHIPS money, you need numbers
There
on.
was supposed to be increases in Bridge and Pave New York,
Bridge and Pave New York, okay.
and then the pothole fund. That's a new one,
Yes.
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 And that was supposed to be along the same lines in the calculation of those other numbers, so.
Yep. We're combing through the budget, so I will look at those numbers and get you some more
Just so that I
definitive.
can give Kenny
Perfect.
some idea.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Perfect, excellent.
Fantastic.
Yeah, all right, excellent.
Very good. Thank you all so much. Have a great night.
Oh, the tree thing.
Yes.
Yes, Andrew is taking over for Erica.
Perfect.
On the tree board. He meets tomorrow with his group. We have an Arbor Day thing on the 30th,
Yes.
and we're handing out trees. And if you drive through our village, you see a lot of stumps. So we had a tree inventory done of the municipality, and the majority of those trees that came down were diseased.
Yep.
And fall into that category of possibly being replaced then by this grant, right?
Yes, because we specifically wanted to make sure it was municipalities that were impacted by invasive species, because we lost a lot of ash trees due to the ash borer.
Do we know a listing of the ones that we have?
See what we put together, yeah.
Yeah, so that we'll be able to get it from Andrew then to your office.
Yes, because I know Depew, New York is one of the U.S. tree designations, so we wanted to make sure that you guys could continue that status because that's great.
Good.
So yes, I will get more information as it comes from DOB, and we'll get to it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to walk around the table here. Recreation, Kevin Ferguson?
Well, it started off on Sunday, we had a very large Easter egg hunt at Fireman's Park. I'm sure somebody saw it on Facebook. It was done by Dawn from Depew's Little Pantry. It was a very, very well organized event. I don't think I've seen anything that organized. She had 250 kids, all got candy, all got prizes. She had time slots set up for each of them to come, age groups. They were done at 4 o'clock. It was a total of 617 people there. The kids were 250, parents and volunteers. But everything was cleaned up perfectly, so, you know, she wants to come back and do it again next year, and I said, without a question, because she did such a great job with it. Coming in June, we have yoga coming in the park on Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Also, too, coming to the village, we have kickball on Mondays, floor hockey in the rink on Tuesdays, Wednesday softball, Thursday fireman softball, and a volleyball league. We also, in our rink, we got the Village of Depew logo with the same type of material made for our lines that's going in the center of the rink, but it's a very, very large logo. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knows that.
It's an inside joke.
And just so you know, to all the satellite parks, all the swings are up. Everything's cleaned out real good. And I got the Paul rule. Told my guys the other day, guess what? When you're done cleaning it all up, everybody go through. I says, I want all the swings checked, all the slides checked. I want the stairs checked. And if there's a problem, you send me a picture of it, write it down, and put it on my desk. We'll get it repaired. See, Paul? You're famous and you don't even know it. And then on Friday, I'm getting 100 yards of playground mulch delivered. So then the park should be complete probably by about another 2 weeks. It'll be all done. That's all I have.
Okay. Craig, from our code enforcement office.
Just a couple things. Wednesday afternoon, I'm going to that zombie task force roundtable that was previously mentioned. Just kind of get a grasp on resources that the village has and to really try to make certain areas look presentable once again and try to bring more prosperity to it. The other part was earlier last week, Bliss Republic at the corner of Transit and Gould. We were able to meet with them. It's a beautiful building, something that would be great for the village. They do like to open it. The owners of the Teton Kitchen do own that as well and would like to open up the restaurant within the next couple months. Don and myself were able to kind of talk to them about a few things that they need to correct in order to do so, and it'd be another nice piece of the community to open up once again. That's about everything I have.
Okay. We have Lieutenant Reef Matt, who's filling in for Chief Miller in the Depew Police Department.
Thank you, Mayor and trustees. Our department and our officers are doing a great job. They are engaged with the community and are working hard to keep the community safe. Recently, we participated in the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration Distracted Driving Educational Campaign. It was You Text, You Pay, You Drive. That ran from April 4th through April 11th. This program was developed to discourage dangerous and often deadly motorist behavior. Distracted driving is one of the largest causes of motor vehicle accidents. During this time frame, we issued 53 traffic summons for 1225 D1, which is the use of a portable electronic device. Our monthly report for the month of March, we had 98 criminal complaints, 861 non-criminal complaints, for a total of 959 complaints. We also had 27 motor vehicle accidents, and our officers issued 309 traffic summonses for the month. And the chief has on here just a reminder, please remember to lock your cars, take your keys, and remove all your valuables from the vehicle. That's all I have.
Okay. And for the final time of his term, Chief Todd Rozutek.
In honor of the police department's bi-weekly report, I will say about my firefighters are continuing to do a great job.
Not to be outdone, right?
That's right.
Okay.
So I will not be, technically my term is done April 30th. Unfortunately, well, fortunately for me, I will be in Florida with my family for the next meeting. So tonight will be my last meeting as fire chief. So I prepared a little letter, as most of the previous chiefs have, and I'll be over shortly. Since I will be out of town for the board meeting on the 25th, this will be my last board meeting as fire chief. I would like to take a moment to reflect on these past few years. To say that these past couple of years have been a struggle would be an understatement. During the pandemic, the fire department experienced challenges like it has never faced in our 128-year history. And subsequently, our firefighters continued to perform the job, day in and day out, without complaint or protest. The fire department did exactly what our residents expect of us, being there in their time of need, no matter what the case may be. We overcame the challenges and still remained an agency of hope and resolve, whether it be on scene of an emergency or through any of the 75-plus tribute parades around the village during the height of COVID. The village means everything to the members of my department, and it has been a distinct honor to serve them and the residents of this great village during my tenure as chief. I have been given the privilege to serve in the Depew Fire Department for the past 21 years. 10 years ago, my department instilled their faith in me and elected me to the position of assistant chief. And just 2 years ago, I embarked on one of my life's greatest honors and was given the privilege of becoming the chief of the Depew Fire Department. And this was not done without the support of many. I would like to thank the village board, Mayor Peterson, for their unwavering support of the fire department over the years. There has been some challenges, and there will continue to be challenges, but you continuously all work together to provide the necessary support to allow the fire department to better serve the residents and our community. And for that, I thank you. To our residents, I just want to say thank you for allowing me the honor to serve you, your families, and this great community. Please know that we will always be there for you at a moment's notice. To my department, it has been and will continue to be one of my life's greatest accomplishments to work by your side. I have never met a more dedicated group of men and women who have the community and public service at the forefront of their lives. The department would not be who we are today without your selfless effort and dedication. The sacrifices you all make, day in and day out, to serve this village does not go unnoticed. And yes, we face many struggles along the way, but you all have continued to push on, and remember that we are here to serve the public in their time of need, no matter what the case may be. And finally, to my family, who has given the biggest sacrifice of all, I want to say thank you. You have given me your unwavering support and love through my entire journey as fire chief. I have missed countless meals, holidays, family events, school events, my kids' hockey, softball, and baseball games. I've been a person you were forced to share with countless others, most of which you will never know. And through it all, you continued to offer your support and be there for me no matter what. And I believe it all to be worth it. My family has missed their husband and dad on more occasions than I can count, but in the end, I believe that you have seen the value of service over self, and that helping someone in their time of need is life's greatest honor. Thank you again for allowing me the honor and privilege of serving as your fire chief, and rest assured that you will continue to be in good hands, knowing the Depew Fire Department will be there at a moment's notice in your time of need. Thank you.
Chief Rozutek, I served under you as other chiefs, so I know that side of what you have to deal with, and I respect 150% what you go through. And for the family, I mean, he's missed some to come to your games, softball or hockey for Rocco, but when we were doing the Zoom meetings, he's sitting in his truck a lot of times doing that. Or I remember some with the dog on the couch downstairs.
Oh yeah, sitting on my shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. But I want to say thank you for your service to the village for all of these times, the assistant chief and as department chief. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Melissa, anything you want to add? No, now he won't be here.
I'm back.
Nice. Here we go. Okay, we'll go down to this table here. We have George.
always make us follow.
Every time he's got along.
I was going to go this way, but I got distracted by the police.
side.
I know.
George, welcome. This is the council chambers. This is our twice a month village board meeting.
Lights look nice. The last couple of months, we've spent most of our time at the DPW doing a lot of electrical work, replacing a lot of panels, old wiring, bringing a new backup compressor into the mix, and preparing to get rid of a old step-up transformer, which will allow us to make the replacement of the generator a little bit easier on us. That's all I have.
That's it?
That's it.
That's okay, that's enough.
He's into
He hasn't
it.
been here that long.
He's got
Ken Pick from DPW.
We're still making headway on the West Dawson Playground. It's coming along great. In the near future, we plan on breaking ground on the new fitness center and volleyball court for the rec department. And we're just into our spring. Hopefully snow is over with and
Very good. Put the plows away, right?
I said it now.
Yeah, I know, James.
Legal?
I don't feel comfortable giving a report after.
No?
Chief is back. No, everything's going well. Got a few not too interesting issues. A couple things to research. We're wrapping up most of our tax certs. There's a appearance tomorrow. Hopefully that'll be the last big one. And we were glad to see the village board retroactively approve an agreement, because if you didn't, I don't know what we'd do. The event already happened, the indemnification already occurred, so we'd be in a pickle there. So thank you, everyone. And really, that's it for me.
Okay.
Not much today.
Trustee Kasevich?
All right, I would like to say thank you to Regina for putting an employee Easter event together. It went great, so thank you for that. I know, Audrey, you helped in getting stuff for the baskets, so thank you. And then a shout out to our Easter Bunny, Courtney Birch, did a phenomenal job. Also, I want to thank Todd. Thank you for everything that you've done for the village and our residents, and thank you to your family for allowing us to have him. So thank you. Gonna miss you being my partner next to me.
The new guy's name is John.
I'll have to learn it.
I look better.
Trustee Adolph?
Yeah. I just want to say thank you, Todd. Appreciate everything. You know, coming from a family of firefighters, I see the toll it takes. So I know what you sacrifice as well as your family. So thank you for all your service. And then also a reminder to the Depew residents, Fireman's Park, April 30th, from 11 till noon is our Arbor Day celebration. I'm just going to keep throwing it out there because we got some fun stuff planned, including seedlings and for residents. We'll have more information on social media that you can kind of be part of the celebration. So thank you.
Okay. On the other side here, we have Trustee Zimba.
Just a quick thank you, Mayor, to Chief Rizutek for his service to the village. That's all.
Deputy Mayor Hammernick, who is now back from her vacation.
Todd, it's been wonderful having you as our chief. Known you for many, many years from when you first started. You've come a long way. You've brought the fire department right to its peak, including with all our junior firefighters and everything else. As being a wife of a former firefighter, I can't thank you enough for what you do. And Melissa, thank you for everything. Giada.
Mini-Me Rocco.
Yes. Your family, I know what it's like, and the sacrifices you have given. The fact that it just, you receive rewards knowing how much they are helping our residents in a time of need. And that just kind of gives us all the satisfaction of, thank God you are you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So any questions for any of our guests, department heads, trustees, legal?
Kevin, I forgot one thing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's my
Oh, you
fault.
took a
I
break?
forgot.
Okay.
Yes, it's my fault. I have some good news. The front of our building is going to be dressed up with flowers. Paul, I was talking to you about that. Pastor Mike from Centerpoint, their congregation on Sunday, May 22nd, is going to make us sparkle with flowers. Looking forward to that.
All right.
Yes.
Any questions? I like that. That means we talked about everything in depth. Anybody online? Really? Our channel needs more advertising or something. All right, so if we could do claims and accounts, and then we'll roll into an executive session.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, the claims and accounts have been audited and are ready for payment.
In the general fund, $124,517.75. In community development, $132. And in the sewer fund, $25.97.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The claims account's been passed. And now if we could take us into executive session, please.
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make the following motion, move for its adoption, to open the executive session at
7:59.
7:59. Thank you.
Second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. We'll be back. Okay, thank you, everyone, for being patient. We're going to be back from executive session. Deputy Mayor?
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, the executive session has ended. It was labor and no decision was made at 9:35 PM.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Now, if we could have an adjournment, please?
Honorable Mayor and Board of Trustees, I make a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting at 9:37 PM.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you, everyone.